What up, everybody? Welcome to the Thursday episode of The Road to 150. August 3rd, our exposure show. We did drum beats, we did some yip yap last week. Today is exposures and a little bit of a draft. So, that being said, I'm your host, Davis Peng, writer for Fantasy Six Pack, and that's it for now. And then with me is Hope Bishop, the actual owner of the channel, your one half gauntlet champion.
No. I did not chop the gauntlet. It was the mitten returns or something.
Sorry, your smaller gauntlet, the mitten.
You're not a playoff baseball guy. We get it. I wish I chopped the gauntlet. That'd been sick. No, I'm excited tonight. I think this is a good exposure show. Not only to talk about the players we're currently the highest on at the different positions, but also where do we want to take our exposures? With our main drafts, we're both at about what? I'm at 91 BBMs. What are you at? Either way,
a lot.
Yeah. So I've got about 60 left. Davis, I think you probably are 50 left. You're over 100 yet?
40 left. I think 40. 110, left? I think.
So this is really it's closing time with BBM, right? Like, if you want to be more in on a team, like I noticed, and I'll get into one. We can just rip it off the bat. I'm not gonna put my exposures up yet, but like the Chargers, I've kind of been buying the Kool-Aid on the Chargers, the Kellen Moore, the offense. And then I pulled my exposures up, and I have a lot of Keenan Allen. You'll see that shortly. But I looked at all the other Chargers, and especially even Herbert. I was like at the field or even below on most of the other Chargers. Like, I thought I had this big Chargers position. Like, I wanted to be in on the Chargers this year. And I noticed, like, I'm in on Keenan Allen, but that's about it. and we worry about Mike Williams' health, and he's not someone we really want to bet on too much. But Keenan's health isn't great either. And so I kind of like, if I'm betting on the Chargers, I got to make some more Mike Williams bets. So I took him a couple more times recently. I still don't want to be crazy on him because he's someone, I'm a little questionable on. But stuff like that, kind of looking in, like, if you're going to have any Chargers positions, like, it's kind of getting down to now or never. We've got, a month left or so before the season starts.
No, I think that's fair. I was actually thinking about this too, and I was like, man, everyone's really on the Chargers, and I'm not. And not in the sense I don't believe they're going to be good. I just don't think they should be shot up as high as they are. You're talking about three receivers. They're talking about four weapons, right? Not three receivers, but four weapons in the first 80 picks.
Everett, first 80. Yeah. I was thinking Everett too.
Eckler in round 1, Keenan Allen round 4, 3 to 4. You got Mike Williams like around 5 to 6. Then you got Quentin Johnson. It's like, man, it's a very heavy. And then that's not even counting Herbert, right? So you put all these guys up top, and I'm on the other side where I'm like, well, I'm taking all like the Denver Broncos, and I'm kind of mixing them in with these Chargers game. Like, it's, I don't know. It sounds contrarian, but it's really not. I just really was just hunting on Russ, and I'm just like sprinkling like a little Keenan Allen, a little bit of QJ, a Josh Palmer team. I think on my big board somewhere. We laughed about that last week.
That one was funny. You took him in like pick 120, Josh Palmer, which obviously we didn't know they were going to draft QJ at that point.
Yeah, we had a feeling, right? Because the idea was Mike Williams and Keenan Allen were older. I mean,
they're both injury prone. I hate saying injury prone because I don't really believe in it. But yeah, they are. They are. But another thing too is I was looking like with Herbert especially, he's like, even if you take a bunch of Keenan, like there's tons of other, the Eckler drafter could go Herbert. If you don't take Mike, the Mike Williams drafter could go Herbert. So it kind of makes a little sense why you may have so much Keenan, but not as much Herbert because, you have two other teams usually with a chance to take him around his ADP. And it makes sense why I have a lot of Keenan too, because it's so easy when you're drafting. If you're drafting at the back half to do the Keenan, Judy double tap there at the 3-4, like that's such an easy double tap. So that's just something I noticed with my exposures.
I would even say since we've been drafting since April that your ADPs could be different, right? Like Keenan wasn't always mid 38. He was a 47, 48 guy, 49 starting off. So,
yeah.
Maybe you're somebody like, like a Buddy Paul here who drafts a buttload in the first month. Myself drafted a buttload in the first month. Right?
Yeah,
I was going through my exposures and I'm like, I actually have better numbers than some people do. Like, I'm up ahead against ADP on DJ Moore against the field because I took him later than earlier, things like that. So, you never know. You might have them. At the same time, it's the quarterback move, right? Justin Herbert kind of moved up a little bit, and then Joe Burrow kind of fell down. So it's a lot of kind of balancing this game a lot. I mean, Justin Fields fell down like 12 picks. So
yeah.
I could see why people aren't having these crazy stacks because maybe you don't need it. Like maybe you just need the other stuff around them.
Right. All right. We'll pop in. We're gonna do my exposures first before we get to Davis. Everyone knows, as we talked, I'm more of a balanced exposure player, so mine aren't going to be quite as exciting as Davis's exposures. So we'll just run through mine to start and kind of explain this, the top guys here. And I think it's cool to look too at like how we talked about the last time. I think I had 24% Anthony Richardson, right? And I kept saying, oh, that'll come down. Like as I do more, that'll come down because I didn't want that much Anthony Richardson with his question marks. And you can see here, it's down to 14%, in a month. So little stuff like that is kind of easy to fix. But my highest exposed quarterback is Daniel Jones, 22%. I think this one's pretty easy because you can see as I'm a little bit lower on the elites. You see Josh Allen creeping on here, but only 7% Josh Allen there. So it makes a lot of sense. Like you miss out on, or you not miss out on, you choose to not take as many of the elite quarterbacks, which again, I'm thinking about fixing in my last 60 drafts. But Daniel Jones is just a guy who offers that rushing upside. We've seen his absolute ceiling, in week 17 in some of the playoff games last year. And he's just such an easy guy. Like if you've missed out on your stack, just take Daniel Jones because he's so easy to backfill stacks with. So yeah, that's why he's my highest exposed quarterback. Derek Carr is a similar situation. I love him as my QB2 on teams just because, and probably influenced a little bit by Davis on the car.
Hey.
You're not going to see Michael Thomas at 60% of my teams, but you will see I'll have a lot of Shaheed, a lot of Jawan. He's just another guy. Like if you're wanting a QB2 stack, it's so easy to just do Carr, do Shaheed, do Jawan, and get out of there with a stack. So that's why I like that. Geno, we'll see it in receivers. JSN, Lockett, both going to make an appearance on my top receivers. So it makes sense why I have a ton of Geno. And 17% to me is a ton. And then, Stafford, Cooper Kupp, I've been taking him the most at that 3, 4, 5 pick. Which is a little nervous with the injury here with that. But Stafford just makes a ton of sense to take on Kupp teams because Kupp's not having an amazing season without Stafford also having a really good season, in my opinion. I don't think if, the Stafford injury stuff, if he goes down, I think that's disaster for Kupp as well. And so I really think if you're betting on Kupp, you're betting on Stafford is kind of how I'm playing that. It's the way I'm looking at it. And then same thing.
That makes sense.
Last one here in my top 5, Anthony Richardson. Again, similar to the Daniel Jones, where if you miss out and don't take an elite quarterback, you want someone who potentially has that ceiling to match them. And so he's kind of guy, like even if you don't get Michael Pittman, you can easily get Alec Pierce late, or you don't even have to stack him. So that's kind of my top 5 exposures. I think that in the reasoning for that. And so it makes a ton of sense. You got anything to say on my quarterbacks? You can move on.
No, I think the QB makes sense. I mean, Stafford is probably the best point that anyone could make. It's one of those like, is there a scenario where like Stafford gets like 3 to 5 touchdowns with Van Jeff, Tyler Higbee, like Puka Nacua? And the answer is probably not, like ever. Right. So therefore, if you are taking Stafford, if you're taking Kupp, you're probably taking Stafford. Like I just don't really see a way around it. This is not one of those one-off situations. Like I don't go, man, Cooper Kupp's out. Like good thing I was unique with, Tyler Higbee. Right. Van Jeff and Benny Skoronjic. Like I'm not stoked about that. I would be a dead week.
Yeah. So those are my quarterbacks. We'll run through. All right, RBs here. Jalen Warren, again, he was up at about 30%. Yeah, Davis doesn't like that. I've come down slightly as we've moved. He was, like I said, over 30. But yeah, I really think he's going to have a standalone value role in Pittsburgh. Loved what I saw, but we've discussed Jalen Warren a ton. Brian Robinson, we're both in on him. Love the quotes coming out recently with Gibson saying he thinks he's going to be the McKissick role. B-Rob talking about how much more explosive he feels. I just think he's such an easy plug-in as an RB3 on a lot of teams, even an RB2 if you're going a little bit more fragile at running back. It just feels good for guaranteed touches there. Gus Bus, we've been on him all offseason, since the big board, since everything. Now this latest stuff with J.K. Dobbins Yeah, Connor. Yeah, people noticing it. Connor, 15%. That's right, GA. I've been influenced by my co-host here a little bit on James Conner, as you can tell. I'm not going to have as much as Davis, but I think the bet for
You can catch
Connor
up.
and do what?
You can catch up.
Connor and Montgomery are very similar bets to me, where they go close together. Where it's like, you know what? I want a solid RB2. I know is going to get me points. Like last year, I think I would have done like an anchor and then skipped those two RBs and gone for more of your Damien Harris, as my RB2s. This year, I'm wanting a little bit more, I guess, security, safety. You could say that at running back compared to what I did last year. Maybe the strong way to play it, but that's why I like those two guys and have about the same amount of them. But back to the top, yeah, Gus, loving. I'm not hated for J.K. Dobbins, but the stuff coming out around him, it's a little questioning. I mean, I know there's some positive stuff, him hanging out with the owner, or was the GM DaCosta. I think J.K. is going to play, but there's some question marks there, at least a little bit. So Gus could, have a good role potentially.
I
Chuba,
just
the
think it's
same.
so funny. Like it's like the total opposite of JT right now, where he's just like being fired from a cannon. Like
Then we got Chuba coming here as my fourth highest exposed. I'm gonna be lowering this throughout the rest of my drafts, just because there's a little bit of that black shear buzz and stuff. I'm a little worried. I kind of been taking a good bit of him because I was like, okay, he's one of like the direct handcuffs, right? In the 17th, 18th round, where like I know if Sanders goes down, he's gonna have a big role. I'm a little bit more questioning that lately, so I'm probably gonna lower him a little bit. Damien Harris, been drafting him all off season. Still love him. Still one of my top 5. So yeah, I think I like where my RBs are sitting. Let's see, who of my highest of like the top guys. Pollard at 11% right now is my top. That's surprising, actually. I got Damian Pierce
I thought it'd be a
rising.
little higher for some reason.
But yeah, that's kind of my RBs. Receivers will go through quickly. Davis has already seen my receivers. They're probably the most boring.
I was gonna say before you switch off, like on one, I thought your Pollard's gonna be a little bit higher. I thought he'd be closer to like 13 or 14, maybe 16. But then your B Rob like is great. So I wanted to caveat on B Rob a little bit, just a little bit.
Yeah.
His 80 play closing value has shifted 10 points negatively. He was 100 and like 5. He's like 100 and like 12 now, like whatever. But like Antonio Gibson just got shot up. And I think the worst narrative, and I think you understood this from the get-go when we talked about it in big boards. Everyone's like, well, but we have Eric Bieniemy now. Like, this is going to be so different. It's like, no, this is still Ron Rivera's team. Like, this is Ron Rivera's team. In a couple of months from now, it's going to be Ron Rivera saying, like, this is what we're doing. He's the pass catcher. Like,
yeah,
this guy is, and I had a thread about this last year, and it held true. And we talked about it last week. It held true. Like, we just know that B Rob's going to be the front runner for goal line plus, 10 to 15 rush attempts up the gut. No idea why that Gibson had flown up past B Rob. So I'm kind of glad we're kind of sitting here on this hole with like 20%.
yeah,
The close line value didn't get too bad, but I think people lost out on Gibson. I saw Gibson as high as 80 at one point.
Yeah, he got steamed up so high. And I mean, I watched B Rob in college a lot. Obviously, he went to Alabama, and like I maintain, he's not a zero in the passing game. I think he caught like 36 balls his last year at Alabama, something like that, which doesn't sound like a lot, but I mean, 36 balls in 12 games, or I guess 13. I think we only played 13 that year. That's a lot for a college back, especially because they rotate a lot more than the NFL backs do. And so I don't think he's a zero there. He's not elite by any means, but kind of similar like the Derrick Henry, Nick Chubb, where like they can do it, right? They can catch 2 or 3. Like they're not going to be out there 6, 7 a game, but
yeah, even AJ Dillon had like 3 to 5 receptions, right? And AJ Dillon's not the most agile pass catcher, so it's just a funny narrative, and we're gonna see it play out eventually.
Switching over to my receivers here, pretty flat overall. Admit that. Keenan is my top. Again, he's in really good click for me right now, wanting to be in on the Chargers in that 3rd round. Because usually I'm either, 2 receivers or going running back receiver, and he just feels like such a consistency guy if he can stay healthy. Same for Terry, right in that range as well. Like, just love Terry McLaurin. I still believe in his talent. I think the QB situation there is going to be better than it was last year. We got JSN coming in next. Him and Tyler Lockett basically the same. I'm kind of interchanging them, wanting to be in on the Seattle passing game. We got Cooper Kupp here in my top 5 exposed wide receivers. Double the field on Cooper Kupp. I'm a little nervous, won't lie. 30-year-old receiver, multiple lower body injuries, and a hamstring that, it lingers for people, right? Like people who get injured hamstrings, like it pops up here and there. So I'm definitely worried here. I've been taking him over Tyreek and CMC in the top 5. So that does have me a little worried. But I also, love the fact of being that overweight him if he can stay healthy. Again, a lot of Deontay doing a lot of Pittsburgh, Seattle stuff. MVS late, love that, love him. Got Ridley, Mims, like really feel good about where I'm sitting with my receiver exposure here. Unless you got anything, I'll move on to tight ends.
No, I just thought it was interesting to have that much Cup. Not as a bad thing. It's just like, man, you were really in that draft range where you were able to get him so often. That's a lot.
Yeah, I've been lucky with top 5 picks, except I've slowed down on 1 and 2. Where am I at right now on J Jeff 6%, Chase we're at 7. So yeah, kind of slowed down there.
I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of like the Deontays, but I do like that your Deontays are tied with your Lockets, which like then that makes like a lot more sense to me. And so your JSNs. So like, oh my god, okay, this makes way more sense. I think if it was Deontay, these two weren't up there, I'd be like, are you really in on the Steelers just like randomly? But I think this is a really good combination of your exposures.
I am really in on Deontay actually scoring 4 or 5 touchdowns this year. Like, I mean, he's not scoring 0. We know he's going to earn targets. And so I'm really excited about Deontay. And I do think the offense is going to be a lot better this year.
In red zone, I think he had like the top 5 red zone targets. I think it was like 18 on the season. Just didn't catch him. Like that's just unlucky. Also just bad QB play. I think you can turn that around. He get 18 and he converts 30% of them, which is not that hard realistically. It's pretty good for him.
And then last, we'll go quickly through tight end. Dawson Knox, again, someone we've been just hammering all off season. Up at 20% on my tight end exposure. I just think he's going to play. So, I mean, everyone's had the Knox Kincaid discussion. Knox is just going to be on the field so much for the Bills. And you can get him 16th, 17th, 18th round. Like, it's just feels like such a smash with the touchdown upside for him. Conklin, same starting tight end with Aaron Rodgers, who you can get in the last round, has been a smash for me all offseason. Freiermuth, high. Again, probably a lot to do with the Seattle stuff. And also, I just really like Pat Freiermuth as well. He had a really good season last year, and I think the offense is going to be better this year in Pittsburgh. And I think Kenny Pickett's going to be one of those QBs who finds the tight end a lot. Then we got Juwan coming in. Again, a lot of my picks you can see correlate with the top exposure guys. Derek Carr had a lot of because I'm doing him as my QB2s. Mixing in with Juwan. And then Mark Andrews is one of my elites there in the 3rd round. A little bit over the field on him, 5% over. But yeah, I'm super excited about Mark Andrews this year and the whole Baltimore offense. And so, yeah, that's my tight end exposure. Feeling really good where I sit. Got Hunter Henry again. Just these late round tight ends are such smashes to me. Musgrave, Laporte. Laporte is not really late round, but
I mean, 24% of your guys, Andrews to Kittle are elite tight end. So 24%, 24, and then even consider Goddard. You're talking about 34% of your teams are elite tight ends. That's pretty cool. I like that. I mean, I'm all for it. I know most people will probably say at least Goddard plus is about elite tight end.
Let's see where I'm at on Kelsey. 7% Kelsey.
So 41% of your teams have an elite tight end.
I don't think I have much Pitts.
Not much Pitts, probably not
5.
much. Probably not a lot of Waller either.
5 and 5.
About half your teams then have about something.
Yeah, I mean, I believe a lot in elite tight end in the playoff weeks, and so I know it's not going to be as great for advance rate, but in those final weeks, you want what can really separate you, as we saw last year with Kittle, and so yeah, I think that actually that makes sense. I haven't never added it together like that, but
Hawkinson.
Yeah, Hawk. Let's see what I have on.
I say 6.
3.
Damn. Whoa.
I kind of want more Hawk than that. But yeah, so I kind of like that though. Having half my teams with elite, half would not. See what works as far as advance rate, playoff weeks. So
I wouldn't be surprised if advance rates for tight ends are a lot better this year, since there's a lot of receivers being pushed ahead of them, right? Like you're talking about later. Yeah, they're going pretty good. You're talking about wide receiver 30, 35s are going where like some tight end, top 4 tight ends are going right now. So I think we might see a change in that. They're probably going to advance a lot better, and people are probably building better. They're no longer stacking Kittle with like, CJ Uzama.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I got an elite tight end. I'll just throw away the second one.
Yeah, so people have gotten a lot better with that.
I mean,
too.
you know, like the notes I shared with you that I'd made in December of last year, it was like, do more 3 tight ends with your Kittles, with your Pitts, with your Goddard. Like, this isn't Kelsey. You got an elite tight end, but this isn't Kelsey. And what I think Andrews has a chance to be this year.
And I agree that Andrews is probably one of those guys I'd totally be like, yeah, that makes sense. You can go 2. I think Kittle below is when I start to really question if you can go 2 and like ugly 2, where it's like Kittle to like some rando that we have no
Kittle to Luke Musgrave or something.
Yeah,
no fan. All right, well, that's my exposures. Again, I draft more balanced, and so now we are going to go
and cry.
Yeah, we'll go to add Davis's to the stream, start his QBs.
All right, so none of my guys have changed up top. It's 34% Wilson, 30% Carr. Actually, I think I've slipped a little bit on these guys. Daniel Jones at 20. I love running him single. Kirk Cousins at 18. I've actually moved up a lot of Hal. I'm not sure if you guys watched the last show.
Wow, that is surprising.
My Hals have gone up. I've been trying to really push these triple quarterbacks a little bit more. So you got Hal, Stafford. My Rodgers has just dropped. I haven't been really clicking. My Ritter's above 8% now. So I've been pushing these like triple quarterbacks a lot more. So it's been nice to do it. And I just fall on Hal, Ritter, and like Stafford in those situations a lot. Not together all the time, but in some form or fashion, they're in there. So like, it could be Wilson, Stafford, Hal. It could be Derek Carr, Stafford, Hal. Things kind of like that. So my exposure has actually shifted a bit in this regard, just for BBM specifically. And then overall, my elite quarterbacks have done pretty well. Joe Burrow's at 11% still. Lamar's at 9%. I think he was at 10%. So it's like 20% of elite quarterbacks. And then, of course, obviously, I have a little bit of the main guys, such as, like Josh Allen and
1%.
1% Allen. So 2 teams have Allen. I think it's like 3 or 4 have Hurts. So, but I mostly sit in that low end zone with like Joe Burrow. So that's what
makes total sense. I know you're taking a lot of T. Higgins.
And then, anything on that?
No, I like it. The Howell stuff kind of surprises me a little bit with you, Howell and Ritter. I don't know. I feel like you, I don't know. You seem to like want more guarantees. So sometimes, but I think that makes sense. I like betting on Howell. I love his rushing upside. So I like that a lot. Tarek wants to know if you got any Fields, Lawrence, or Herbert. Lawrence, you got one team.
Herbert, one Lawrence.
We're different on Fields, that. You got some
5, so it's another elites, and then Herbert not so much because I end up on Burrow a lot.
You got one Herbert, one Lawrence. Interesting.
But before we go though, before we get off that really quick, there is a Lawrence on my.
Oh, you didn't.
Ugh, stupid thing.
Oh, you clicked it off.
My Lawrence is on my major team though.
It's on your $500 team.
Yeah, it's on my 500. You know what? So he's there. All right. Running backs, pretty easy going, as you guys know. I got 50% Connor. He dropped. He did go from 52 to 49. A lot of people are pushing Connor lately, and I've been pushing my RBs to be more 0 RB teams. And then due to my 0 RB teams, I actually don't get lucky on Connor. I've seen Connor like the last 5 of my drafts, like 74, 70, 74, 73. So I'm not getting him at 80, 85 anymore, which is kind of hurting my overall exposures.
Hurting your exposures to 50%.
Hurting my exposures, God, it's going to get me bad. Najee Harris at 41. He's moved up a little bit. He was at like 38. Gus at 30. We're all the Gus team, me, you, Chris, and a couple others. Yeah, and then Singletary at 29, Wilson at 27, B-Rob at 27, and Dylan at 26. This is like my heavy. I'm sitting in these zones. They just fit well for hero teams, double elites, zeros. Brian Robinson, AJ Dillon are my go-tos for zeros. Damian Harris, obviously, too.
Yeah.
And then out of the elites, let me see. I think Henry's one of my highest. 12.
1% Henry. 13%. That makes sense.
I was taking a lot more earlier, but obviously his ADP has kind of been going up again. My Chubb's at 12. So I have a couple elites, but never a lot of doubles. Anything for that?
No, I like it. I think it makes total sense. I mean, like you've staged your case for your guys all off season. I think it makes total sense.
It'd be embarrassing if I had like 10%.
Singletary, explain that one to me a little bit. I know Josh and Hayden love themselves some Damian Pierce. Lots of pub for him lately. What are you thinking there? I mean, not that like, liking Singletary means you don't like Pierce. It's just seems to be a good bit of Devin
I
Singletary.
took a lot of Pierce in other formats, and I want to take him more in BBM. I just haven't had a chance to. Like a lot of my BBMs, when Pierce comes up, I feel like he gets reached on a little bit, and then I end up with Miles Sanders, right? Or I end up with like Cam Akers and somebody else takes him. I just don't always end up with a team where he's in a falling draft. I don't need to take him in a falling draft. I have been pushing him up. He'll probably be 12 to 14% by season start in my next 40 drafts. I do like Pierce a lot.
Yeah.
I actually think I wish I was down more on Singletary for that. But
I mean, I'm not saying like it's bad. I like Singletary a lot. And he's a good click, kind of like what Chris is saying that, he's really good contingent value. 49ers coming over to Houston. I'm not. Yeah, I was just kind of just wondering.
Oh no, I definitely know you're not doing that. I just would say I wish I had more Singletary. Sorry, not Singletary, more Pierce. I kind of wish I had 12 to 14. Year 2 running back, right? He looks great on tape. I think he's splitting. I think he's going to split, but I don't think the split warrants enough that I should be taking him.
Yeah, I mean, Singletary's not bad.
ADP 68, right? So
yeah, Singletary's a good player.
I fall too much on these Najee picks. It's kind of why it's killing my my Pierce picks. No, I think that's what a lot of it's doing.
Makes total sense.
Wide receivers, my boy Michael Thomas still up on top. This is all for BBM, so 50%. Not getting any clothesline value on him. He stayed kind of the same. People are kind of juicing him up a little bit lately, but not enough. Like Connor.
You got Liam on your side with Michael Thomas.
Yeah, I saw that. I laughed. I was like, oh, that's a good one to be on with. One of the champs. They were calling arbitrage.
DeAndre Hopkins, maybe.
Yeah, something like that. He was an arbitrage pick of another injured player. So I got Jerry Jeudy, CeeDee Lamb. So you have your buttloads of Cooper.
Arbitrage Calvin Ridley, I think is what you said.
Oh, yeah, arbitrage Calvin Ridley. There we go. I have a lot of CeeDee Lamb right now. I just fall in that spot a lot, and I just really can't take a lot of Brown. I take AJ Brown a bit, less lately, but I have taken him quite a bit at one point.
8%. I mean, that's 8. You got the field on him.
So
what is your Garrett Wilson? I'm going around that. 10%. Yeah, you just get a lot of those picks.
I just get a lot of those picks. Like I'm always there.
You're over the field on all of them. What about Devontae Adams?
Oh, that one I'm lower on, but I did grab him a few times. But he's
still at 7. You're just racking up the end of the first picks.
And then my Lions, it's not even like it's
9%
bad either.
of Monroe, yeah.
10. So I just kind of end up there so often.
Yeah, that's fair.
And then you would say what's for my Diggs? My Diggs is 13% too. So I'm just so far in the butt of the draft that I get all these guys. I just don't take a running back, so I don't take Eckler a lot. I've taken a lot less Bijan. My Chubb's in 12.
Yeah, you just get so many of those picks. You can be overweight the last 4 or 5 picks in the first round.
And I'm not people are like, are you reaching for Najee in the first half? I'm like, I've never seen what the first half looks like. I have no idea what the first half looks like. I'm always in the butt draft.
That's funny. Oh yeah, what's your DAC? That's a good question.
That one's actually kind of low.
4%. That's surprising with 23% CD, but I know. Yeah, I mean, makes sense if you're kind of skipping that range at QB.
I just skipped the range at quarterback. I end up on Daniel Jones.
That's fine.
Probably not the best move, but I've been adding my DACs a little bit lately. I also see a lot of people grab Dak naked, and I just don't get it. I'm like, what are we doing? Kind of situation. But my Mike Evans, Chris Godwins are kind of still tied together. I'm still in on this for some reason. Marvin Mims has dropped a little bit. Terrence Marshall is my big riser. He's up here now. He's up at the top. So it's been kind of funny having Terrence Marshall. So I've been following that a little bit of the hype on that. I'm hoping it hits. And then DJ Moore has gone up a lot too. He's at 17%.
Yeah, I like it. I think all these make sense. T. Higgins, that's a big bet too. There, at the when you are at the front of the draft.
Yeah, I just hate the third round, and he kind of falls into me there, and I'm always kind of excited to take him. I'm excited to take him in the third. I'm excited to take him on the 2 turn with him. It's been good. Kind of wish I had got a little bit more Derrick Henry though.
Yeah, you still have 12%. That makes sense. This is a good question. More of a question here for Davis than myself. But if you have 40 to 50% of a player in BBM, are you hedging at all in different contests or platforms? You think you got a lot of Olave somewhere else, or
No, not at all.
Jalen Warren somewhere else?
My Warren, what do you think my Warren is?
I'm gonna guess that it's 7%. One. I thought you were about to act like you had a lot.
But if you actually look at my Warren,
it's 1% still. 85.
No, it's supposed to have all of them. Sorry, it's gonna be 12-person Warrens. It's supposed to be higher. I think I had them. Oh, you know what? I have them a lot more in my big boards. I have a lot of Warren in big boards.
Okay, that makes more sense. Yeah.
But yeah, and then last but not least, my tight ends. We'll go for that really quick. And then the tight ends. Tyler Higbee at 29.4, Tyler Conklin at 25, Juwan at 18. Kind of wish I fell off Juwan now that they have Jimmy Graham, Taysom Hill.
Yeah, it's just annoying.
Probably have, who else? Jared Cook there is probably back on the team for all I know. Like Foster Moreau. There's like 17 tight ends.
It's annoying. I agree.
They're the Giants of tight ends. The Giants have like 17 slot receivers. They have like 17 tight ends. This has been actually kind of annoying. I'm hoping the $8 million pays out though, and it works for him. Dulcich, obviously, to go with my Wilsons and my Cole Kmets. Like I've been pitching Cole Kmet all year, and then Kittle has gone up to 17% nearly. So it's been pretty good stuff. So wow. I've been taking it. I have a lot of elite tight ends.
Yeah, you got Kittle, Goddard, Hawkinson all on your first page. That's cool.
See, I'm in it too, and I'm even worse. Sometimes I grab these guys together.
You do. I have seen that.
But my Kelsey though. That is straight up zero.
Oh, man. 0 Kelsey, huh?
Yeah, 0
You
Kelsey.
do know the Chiefs have, like, no pass catchers,
and
right?
And then 5% Andrew. So it's not like I faded him either straight out.
No, you haven't faded him.
All right, then.
How are you feeling about your Kelsey fade? Like you
totally fine with it. If Kelsey wins the tournament, then that's fine. I'll be like, I think everybody likes Kelsey, but I don't think anybody expects Kelsey to be the reason someone wins BBM.
I think he easily could be the reason someone wins BBM. I mean, he could score 30 at the tight end position.
I mean, he could, but I don't think anyone's actually expecting that. Like, Kelsey is that divider that wins it for somebody else.
I just think that's like, and I know you could say, well, this could happen, like, and I get that, but I don't know. I feel like
$500. I have 100% of these guys. Trevor Lawrence.
Look, yeah, you only have one Trevor Lawrence team, but you got a $500 Trevor Lawrence team.
He fell like 2 rounds, and I had Calvin Ridley. I was like, of course I'm going to pick him up at that point. Like, what am I going to do? He fell 2 rounds.
Well, you don't have much Jalen Waddle, and you got Jalen Waddle on the $500 team, too.
I think he fell on this.
This is a good team. I like these receivers. Jeez.
Yeah, it's really weird. I was like, where's Jalen Warren here? Like, it would have been funny. Like, you see Jalen Warren in this team, you've been laughing. Anyways, we should hop into a draft, though.
Yeah, let's do it. We are going to be drafting. What are we drafting today?
The Hound,
the new one. All right, let me know when are you about to enter?
Yeah, I'm going to enter.
All right, I just did. Wait, we're filled. Are you in?
No. I'm going to be in the leftovers. The other one filled up 7 spots.
I'll auto this one.
Oh, snap. You have 5. You better hurry up. You're going to miss. Oh, you got it. You're in.
All right. We'll auto the other one.
Don't auto it. Just actually draft your other one.
All right, I'll draft the other one.
Do it on your phone.
I'll
101. Here we come. 101 Hound.
I'll two-tab it.
Oh, so yeah, GA says Pitbull. I'm actually going to max the Pitbull. I'm going to hit all 10. I think I did one today. I have one that's slow. I'm doing another one of another friend, and then doing 2 more tomorrow. I'm going to have 5 probably by tomorrow, and then hopefully find a way to get that last 375 to buy out the last 5. I actually like these. I've said it before. I like these smaller contests where you don't have to max 150. I think this year I feel people are very much off on the puppies. I don't hear many people going like, I did 150 puppies. Like, I'm stoked. Everyone's kind of dead. 20 of the poodles, 75s of the hounds, 50 of X. I think feels a lot better.
Yeah. All right. Multi-tabling and trying to talk about our teams here. All right. I'm on the board. You know what? I don't know what I'm going to do in the hound, so we are just taking Cooper Kupp. We're doubling down.
Must be nice.
You get the 103 in both.
Yeah, see, Nate agrees too. He's saying he got burnt on the puppy, but he did like 120 at the first one. I maxed out puppy 1 and 2, and then I cried. Puppy 3. All right. I've been trying to get more CMC actually lately. I think this has been kind of a good time to get it, especially with the down news on Cup. I need more CMC exposures. I actually don't have as much as I'd like. Same for Bijan.
Yeah, I'd like to get more Bijan. I think that makes sense overall. Like, I can kind of tell there was a little bit of like, I don't want to say that. It's just more so me. Like, getting to the end of the season, you know, you have to kind of be more selective of what you're choosing to enter. You know, especially if you try to like budget for what you're gonna do. Like, eventually, you can't max everything, or you can't even throw a lot of entries and everything. So
I don't know. I should ask James.
yeah, he finds a way. I know. I kind of regret this year. I didn't go as hard at the PGA dailies I did last year. Kind of wish I'd have done that, but
yeah, dailies. That's a tough one. I have a lot of respect for people who can win out the dailies.
I just love playing them. They're so fun. Yeah, all right. I got a Cooper Kupp and a Tyreek Hill team going here.
Cinnamon, King is in here. GA's in here. Do you have anybody in your other room?
Let's see.
I mean, you instant filled basically, but you might have some buddies in that one too.
All right, we got Crash Rich. Let's see. Trying to see and not miss a pick. Oh yeah, Pat's in here. Let's see.
Have you?
Oh yeah. What was your Justin Fields again? Wasn't it like 4 or 5%? I think it was like 5.
My Fields? I think it was like 5. In total, I think it might be higher, but for BBM, it's 5. Oh no, it's actually less than total. So BBM, it's 5. I just have a hard time taking them there. I'm taking a lot of DJ Moore there. They go together and never together in the sense that I can get both or want to get both because Joe Burrow's there too. So at that space, I'm probably on the 2 turn. And then I probably have Higgins in most of those scenarios. And I have like Higgins, Burrow, DJ Moore. Like that kind of combo comes up a lot.
That makes sense.
Yeah, and I don't know if that's right though. I have to admit, like I don't know if that's even the right call.
Because I know you had a lot of DJ Moore and a lot of Komet.
Yeah, I have a lot of Komet, a lot of DJ Moore. I also just have a lot of Burrow. I like Burrow a ton. His upside games are just as good in some cases as Fields. Obviously, about the crazy outlier with 40 points when he runs for like 400 yards or anything on a game, but I've already explained my case. I don't think he's going to be the guy that does it this year. He's not going to run 1,000 yards. I think he runs like 600, which is still going to be amazing. But that's kind of a sharp fall off for your week to week stuff.
Yeah,
and just your overall upside chances of 150-yard runs on a game, not even on a season, but on a game.
Yeah.
So I'm making that case that I am taking more. I'm taking Komet. I think even the wide receiver core that pass catching isn't bad. I think Pat even himself on his show was like, Darnell Mooney should probably be where Tyler Boyd is. And I'm like, that's right. Like, I actually agree to that. Like, he should be there.
Chris Olave.
Derrick Henry at 18. Tell me, like, he's moving up, man. Let's see.
Trying to make sure I don't miss my pick in the other draft. These 2 drafts are actually moving just as fast as each other.
I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do with these next set of picks. Improving connection with AJ Brown. Oh man, God. Ooh, you guys JT at 24. He's not scared. Yeah. Kind of wish I took more Ridley at that when he was on that 4 turn, man. I really wish I had like 30% Calvin Ridley, like pick 35, 38. I know. I was taking Cooper, and that aged well overall because Cooper has moved up, but it hasn't aged as well as Calvin Ridley at the rate that he moved up.
Yeah. Yeah, he moved up so much. Montrez's been my boy for a lot of the offseason. He still is. I'm just waiting for that backfield to be settled and to see if he can slide any more. It's just annoying. It's like, I believe, like, as long as it's like Zeke and Lenny, I'm fine. and I'm still going to be in on Ramondre. But I just want it to be settled already before I go crazy, because there is still the doubt. Like, if it's Dalvin Cook, I would be upset that I had, so much of either him or Brees. And so we'll see. I do need to get the Hurts exposure up, and these exposures you're seeing are my BBM. Well, I don't think I've actually like grabbed the exposures lately, but yeah, they were my BBM exposures.
I've kind of gotten a little bit weird in this space because I really don't like any of these guys. I don't really I like them enough, but I don't think they're as far apart as like Judy. So I've actually been like in these weird 28, 29 spots where it isn't T. Higgins left over, isn't, Derrick Henry and stuff. I just grab Judy now. I'll grab him 8 spaces out of his place. Gives me a lot of uniqueness against the field. And then just kind of going with it, like, screw it. I think Judy is as good as DK, if not better this year for points. I do think he's going to be as good or not better than Amari Cooper. I don't think anyone really likes this round right now, given the situation we're in, right? Brees Hall is a toss-up. Josh Jacobs is a toss-up. Ramondre is a toss-up. It's like, it all feels really bad.
GA's upset you took his Allen.
I'm sorry. I should have just grabbed my Jerry Judy. I'm sorry, man.
I mean, I don't hate the third. It is tougher. Like, really now just seeing with just the buzz. And then I like Mark Andrews a lot. And I do like Mondre and Brees. It's just, I just wish those situations were settled. But we're just closing in. We're like, if we're going to get all these drafts in, like, you got to at some point make a stand. And so if it gets like 2 more weeks and we still don't have it settled, I haven't got 30, drafts left, I'm just going to have to decide to start adding more Ramondre.
I appreciate you, James. I'm glad you agree. I guess, I don't know. I think a lot of us who's been drafting since forever, right? Everybody here, everyone in this channels, these chats and the streams, like, we've seen so much of these like round 3, 4, 5 receivers, these 4 5s, like Terry McLaurin, Drake London, DJ Moore, all these guys. And we're like, these guys could technically be a round up, right? Like, compared to DK, I had 50% DK last year and he paid off. But at the same time, I'm not saying like he's that much of a gap. Half the reason I had DK last year is because I could get him at pick 50, pick 60.
Yeah.
I don't know. This time they're all a lot tighter. I might just start reaching down and grab these guys. Get Judy, Terry McLaurin, DJ, Mike Williams, and kind of mix it. Christian Watson is even falling these days. Like, you can get really different now with these, like, at the last tail end of these drafts, with the last, month of BBM. I'm not going to force myself into situations I do not like.
Yeah, it makes total sense.
Oh, yeah, I typed up Jerry Judy and he's still there.
He might come back to you. We'll see.
I doubt it. I've been seeing a lot of Christian Watson falling, though. That's been fun. I've been taking a lot of Christian Watson because he's just like pick 47, and I'm just like, yes. Like, I'll take him. Here's my 4th receiver now.
Man, and so in my other draft, I got to decide here. I'm going to share this tab real quick. Got to see, am I going to get Najee at the 410, or do I take Burrow? And I'll switch back to our draft here. I'll see what this person does. I can take Najee at 410, or the thing is, this person has Chase. Do I just grab Burrow, let him fall? That person's probably gonna snap pick Burrow. You know what? I'm gonna do it for you, Davis.
I don't know if I would even reach for Burrow that much.
All right,
I wouldn't even reach for Burrow at that point. I would just let him
back up our draft. Yeah, we'll see. I'll let this other person have him. They picked DJ Moore first. Maybe they're still gonna take Burrow.
Oh, yeah. They're probably taking more and bluffing the other two to make sure that they don't grab Burrow.
I would say 90%. If we weren't on stream, I would have just took Burrow. But
I would have, yeah.
You know what? I wanted to show you can get Najee at 46.
Yeah, in your draft. How about mine?
that person did take Burrow, of course. Let's see. Like, yeah, you can't get him at 46 because he goes to you at 36.
I mean, I wish you would have came to me at 46. I'd be grabbing right now. I don't have him. I don't have a shot at him. Where's my shot at the boy?
Fair enough.
I was an interesting spot there. I could have grabbed ETN. I really like ETN's new price right now, where he's going on this like for this turn. I'm not an ETN guy because I think he's not a going to be a consistent back, but I do think his upside's going to be like really strong. He's going to have these games where he gets you like 20, 22, 28, whatever the case may be. Then you're going to get other games where he gives you like 9. And I don't think other people understand how bad 9 is when you're not taking RBs heavy this year, like, right? This year, like how bad that's really going to be. Um,
I think
but
that's
I
fair.
pick 49, pick 50 plus, man. Like I'll sign up for all the ETNs. I will take ETN, even though I'm on tank to steal some touches. It's not enough for me to think that ETN's got a complete wash. I think he's just a wash at the 3-4 turn, where those guys are pretty strong there.
That makes sense.
No DJ Moore for me
Yeah, I took him with Fields.
because you're a monster. I would have loved him with my Drake London, but that's cool.
Not passing that up, man. Love my receivers.
I got a combo of Drake London, DJ Moore recently, and I was like just ecstatic. I was like, yes, yes, this is so good. Like their defense can be so bad. Oh yeah, yeah, I agree with you, Terrence. I mean, like the DK stuff is pretty good. Like DK had a game where he dominated the San Francisco 49ers in the playoffs, but then he also had 2 games where he just did nothing when he was like against the 49ers against the Chiefs. I don't know. It's been weird. And I think a lot of it's due to Gino's limitations. Also, the limited routes that make DK run. DK is kind of always like running the 9 routes, right? Like nines, post. He's never used on the inside, and if he is, it's very much like decoyish. I think if they use DK to do those like in routes a lot more, we'd be more happy about it. But he's just a home run guy, stretching the field and whatnot. And if Gino's limited ability to kind of get that done, I'm not too excited.
Yeah, it's just tough when like I don't think he projects that much better than Lockett or JSN to take him
Yeah,
3 rounds higher, 2, 3 rounds higher. But
he didn't beat Lockett last year, so I mean, like, what
yeah,
so,
I know. I mean, he does have like that quote unquote the prototypical wide receiver one size, but it's just tough when you can get those other 2 guys so much later.
yeah.
But that
I
is
mean,
something I am thinking though, like just the way I play the game, like I mean, if I'm so in on Geno, I'm so in on the other 2 Seattle pass catchers. Like, am I that confident? It's not DK, So I mean, I am like price wise, but I think I probably want to get up to like 6% DK. Maybe we'll see what I.
I think 8 is really strong where to get him at.
Yeah.
I just I we talked about this right before stream started. It's do I really want a bunch of players I don't care for, and when I could be getting more combinations of guys I do like, right? Like I want these
Yeah.
combinations of Jerry Judy, these combinations of if I was in on Ramondre, Brees Hall, like those type. If I'm like in on those guys, I want more combinations of them versus like goofy combinations of guys I don't like,
Yeah.
and also having to confuse myself mid draft to how to build them. Like right now, if I took ETN at 4, the 4th round on the turn, I actually don't know how to build around them because I rarely ever take them.
I mean, I feel like it'd be the same way you build around Najee, though. I mean, they go right next to each other.
I don't think they're the same
Usually.
player though.
Oh, that's fair. That's fair.
Right, like I categorize as ETN's boom bust, and Najee as like a floor guy, like the 12 to 17 guy. But ETN's a 9 to 25 guy probably, or 9 to 20. So I have to build differently for him. He's like Gabe Davis to me of like running backs.
I'll give you that.
Ooh, there's a lot of running backs left over. What to do? I had to take Rashad White today. It felt weird. Like that's a guy I never really take, but I take one in a very standard balanced build.
Yeah, I am not taking much for Shaw White.
I think it's a good time to do it though, with a lot of these other guys being pushed up, right? Like Montgomery, Connor are all being juiced up.
It's just tough because he goes right next to the to Connor and Montgomery, who I'd rather have, but
no, much rather. But I've seen those guys get juiced up to like mid 70s, and I've seen like Rashad White fall like 88. And I'm like, that's fine. Like I guess, right? I'd rather have him over Pacheco, I think.
I'm taking him a few times when he falls.
What am I at? Damn, none of you guys have running backs in the middle. No one in this middle group has running backs. All right, well. Might as well get my week 17.
Grab Damian Pierce, my first RB. It's a fun team. Trying to decide. I don't think I want one of these tight ends. I don't know.
You're not going to take that fallen Dobbins? I would consider taking it.
I mean, 75, I might. Yeah. What do you think? What do you think's gonna end up happening with Dobbins?
I think it
Or is
settles out. I think Dobbins and his agent know they don't have any. What are they gonna say? I think he gets kind of like this weird Deontay Johnson contract. I was saying this to
like a 2-year extension. But see, like, what? Why would you extend him if you're the Ravens? Though, like, what has he proven?
I mean, he's proven that when he gets on the field, he can be legitimate. He did really well last year, even in the playoffs last year.
His yards per carry was really good, but I don't know, man. I'm just not re-signing a receiver like that. I mean, running back, jeez. But I will take him 12 picks after ADP, though.
Oh, got me all excited. I was going to have a shot at him. I mean, I don't mind him where he's at. Like, I mean, you get him for 2 years. He's still young. He showed that he can do it when he is on the field. And it's a 2-year contract. Like, there's not much to lose there. And in worst case, it just gives you all the more reason to just treat him like crap and run him to the ground. He's probably happy too. I mean, like, I don't mean that in a dickish way, but that's kind of the truth. Like,
yeah. I mean, I just wouldn't extend him though. Like, I would just be like, you're either playing this year, on this contract, or we'll go get someone in the 2nd round, 3rd round next year, just as good as you.
Yeah, but you're trying to win this year too, though. Is the point? You're trying to win this year. Who are they going to win it with?
But what's he going to do? Like, just not play? Dobbins?
Possibly. He can. I mean, we've seen people do this. We saw with like other wide receivers.
But will he not accrue a season of service though in the NFL? Like, if he doesn't play,
he could play, take a minor injury, and just never come back.
Yeah, that's fair.
We saw Allen Robinson do this, right? Allen Robinson did that twice, technically. Well, he mainly did it with the Bears, but these guys will do that. They'll just game the system. Everybody knows how to game each other. So it's better not to put yourself as an organization in a spot where you get gamed and gain nothing. Pay the guy out for his 2 years. I think a 2-year contract is amazing for running backs.
Yeah. I think I don't know. I just don't think you have to if you're the Ravens. Unless you really think he's just going to hold out. I don't know.
I think if you're trying to win a ring, you have to.
Give him a 2-year contract extension.
2 years. Give him like $8 million. Ain't nothing. We're paying like wide receiver 4 is 15. Like, I don't know. Like, fucking Juwan Johnson has $8 million, right? Like, come on. You're gonna tell me like J.K. Dobbins is worth less than Juwan Johnson and the 4 tight end brothers on the Saints?
I mean, no, but
how much did Cole Kmet make? What, 12?
12 and a half. I think they could get by just fine with like Zeke and Gus.
Zeke was pretty bad last year.
They'd be fine with that.
Did you see him at center? It wasn't good.
At center? That's fair. Oh, I just got autoed on this.
Watch what Dobbins did last year for the playoffs. It actually shows a lot better. He did well, and I think he is earned. On paper, you could say he earned a 2-year contract. I don't think he's earned a long term, a 4 or 5, nothing like that. But 2 years, front load it.
Sure.
It'll probably cost you the same much as a franchise in the long run.
I just got autoed Pacheco on this other team.
Isn't he healthy though? Didn't he just get good news today that he's like
back?
Back?
He's fine. I think he's fine to play. What else am I gonna do?
My buddies, they're there.
My
guys.
This other team to auto draft.
No, my Michael Thomas. Why would you do this to me? I don't know who you are, Magic Mania, but we're not friends no more. Ugh, now I'm sad.
Elijah. All right. Man, I do not know how to take here. Could just do Bateman.
I was considering taking Bateman there, but I just took the ADP value, and that's fine.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of making a bet on Baltimore. Yeah, do that.
You have Jackson?
No, I have Dobbins.
Oh, you have Dobbins.
And then I have
The
Tyreek
other
as
guy
well.
had Jackson and Burrow. Magic
Yeah,
Mania.
I have Tyreek as well.
Must be nice. Do I want...
This is tough drafting next to each other. You don't want to talk about who you want.
No, I think I already know who I probably want. It makes the most sense for me. I know I don't want Dalvin Cook though. That's for sure.
You're gonna
God,
take.
can he man sign already? Can he do something?
AJ Dillon probably.
I would give like.
I would guess you'd take.
I would donate blood right now if I could find out where Dalvin Cook was going. I would give a piece of my liver just so I could find out where this man went. This is outrageous.
Jeez. Let's see.
You didn't let me have Pierce. You didn't let me have Dobbins.
I'm gonna let you have. I don't want AJ Dillon. I want to take one of these tight ends. I haven't picked Njoku in a while.
Don't do it. Oh, I'm just kidding.
You did not want Njoku. I knew it was
I
AJ
have,
Dillon.
like, some, but not with my more. No. I want my fatty. Damn, what's up with these other teams? Next to me, Gerard has a double elite quarterback. There's 2 double elite quarterback teams we're going against.
Mahomes, Herbert, Lamar, Burrow.
Damn.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't understand the Lamar Burrow. Either of them stacked.
Herbert Mahomes, but I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I don't either. They at least stacked them.
Oh yeah, I guess the stack is fun. Kadarius Toney at 95. Hey, Kadarius Toney went later than Michael Thomas in this draft. That's good. That's good for our bet.
Fair.
Oh wow, the chat just started going off. Yeah, and a joke if you're low on tight end. Yeah. Zeke and Gus.
Yeah, that's what I said. Yeah, I know it's underwhelming, but I'm not paying a running back who's coming off an injury, a 2-year extension. I'll just sign someone off the street. That's just my philosophy, though.
Yeah, James says a little bit less about the.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like.
But I agree, and I think they're going to pass a ton this year.
I think he can get to 15. I think he gets to 15. I just think the man was never in a situation where he could get 15. He played behind Mark Ingram on a good year. Then he played behind Gus and Mark on their down years. And then when he was supposed to take over, he just had a Michael Thomas and then just never showed up for 3 years or 2 years.
Yeah.
Kind of a tough call. But they used the crap out of him in the playoffs. And I think that's what you want to see, right? Like, are you good enough when our season's on the line and they've used them? And that's confidence in my mind.
Almost got auto drafted again in my second draft. That other team's gonna be a bad team.
No, the bad teams sometimes do well. Remember my top 1% team that I told you I auto drafted when I was gaming? Like I left it on accident. I did like the first 5 picks and I completely spaced out that I had it going, and then it did really well.
That's the thing about basketball.
You just never know. I hate that's such a thing, but it's like probably the truth of the matter. More so than we.
No, I mean, like sometimes you just have to bet on an outcome. You can't back up with stats or facts, projections. Like you just have to make a bet that you think, this is going to be drastically different than the year before, or a rookie, that you haven't seen the usage on. So I mean, it is true in some respects.
I really need to figure out this team though. My team's kind of in the middle of nothing. It's pretty much doing nothing right now.
Yeah, I like that Njoku pick. I find him and Firemouth. It's just like when I don't know where I'm going in that range, I just take one of them.
I'll say this much: I like me some Firemouth a lot, way more than the Joku. I think he's just so freaking good. And we're always sitting there talking about Kyle Pitts every year, but Pat F was tight end too for his season, and probably a better overall tight end because he was in
Yeah.
touchdowns and played with more competition. You know, he was playing with Deontay and Najee, etc., and still like just did well. Had a good year.
No, I'm a big Pat F fan.
One of my biggest buys last year was him, and I kind of stand by that still. I think this last year was kind of bad because of injuries, and obviously Mitchell Trubisky plus Pickett, like, makes sense to me.
All right, I'm just setting that other team on auto draft.
Is it that bad?
Yeah, I just accidentally I autoed Gino there as well. I'm just gonna forget that one.
Isn't he your boy though?
No, he is. I mean, I'm fine having Gino on my team, but I just want to focus on this one.
Okay, I'm in a weird spot though.
Yeah, let me check who's up for both of us. Pat F coming back.
Yeah, Pat F's coming back. The guy in between me and you for Pat F doesn't have a tight end, so the turn. So Pat F's likely going to go to him. I can choose to do a stack here, or a correlated pick, which I'm just going to do it because I do need it. I'm going to take Lazard.
I'm taking Sharps.
And then Pat F is probably going to go to Ethan here in the turn, which would make sense because he's 0 tight end right now.
That was weird. I got an error there trying to make that pick. Let's see. What do I need here?
Yeah, I mean, I like that. You know, Terrence makes a point about like one of those linebackers are just going to ruin one of those quarterbacks. And I know that we don't like to predict like injuries, especially with running quarterbacks. Everyone hates that, like, oh, running quarterbacks get hurt. And I'm like, but it's true. Like running quarterbacks don't get hurt, but they just have a higher odds of it because they are putting their body on the line, not absorbing a hit, but like seeking contact. You know, like you have Josh Allen like trying to shoulder check people, Jalen Hurts, and so on and so forth. And Lamar hasn't finished the season, you know, like in 2 seasons. And
I think it makes sense. My point, and I'm kind of with James, just like that can happen, but it's still such a big like spend on the quarterback position. Like on my individual team, I'm just gonna bet they stay healthy. Like I get, you could say like having both, if it's a perfect run out in the playoff week where you ping pong like 40-point weeks, like I get that, but it's just not the way I choose to draft, but I understand that.
I don't think the argument for me is that I will never take both. And I've been on that boat of why invest in Allen and then take your second quarterback as like, Gardner Minshew, right? Like, why are we doing that? Like, you obviously believe quarterback's relevant, so maybe your second guy shouldn't just be like a bottom ringer. I think the whole Kelsey to Uzomah conversation.
I'm gonna bet Elijah Mitchell's fine.
Yeah, so that's a hard bet.
Just kidding. Yeah, Tua is definitely not a runner. He's never been a runner.
Do I want Juju? Aaron Rodgers. I think he's talking about injury wise, but that's different though. Those are like that's a one-off guy that just gets hurt a lot. I'll think about taking Juju here because that conversation we had about Juju actually kind of makes sense to take here. But I think I'm just gonna take this the correlated game with Rodgers.
That's totally fine.
Yeah, but
you don't want Kincaid?
Consider that too. But I already have my elite. I have Kittle. No, I have Hawkinson.
2 week 13 buys.
Do I? No.
It would have been if you took Kincaid and Hawkinson.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I just have to believe that like at some point that if I take an elite, I'm not gonna go butt ugly at the second. So I do like to take up a little bit earlier. But I don't think you have to grab like Herbert, Mahomes. I think like Mahomes' cousins would have worked just fine, or Mahomes falling. Mahomes or any of those versions of those guys in the middle falling. Cousins, Daniel Jones, Geno Smith, Stafford, Russell Wilson, like Derek Carr, I think that's fine, and I would have gone any of that route.
Terrence, do you take Mike White with Tyreek on Underdog in 18-round drafts? Or is it super flex or 20? I just can't see myself doing that personally.
No, I wouldn't do that. I would do that in like super
I mean, I just
flex.
feel like, yeah, I mean, super flex, I could see it, but it's just like if you're betting on Tyreek, you're probably getting a healthy two a season. Like I get, people like Mike White and think he's a solid backup, but I'm just betting on a healthy two a season if I'm.
I
Oh
would
no,
do it.
so,
I would do it in one scenario, and if that was all the quarterbacks were juiced up too high, and I took somebody like in the middle. It's kind of weird. Like it's a scenario where I just think the bottom is just that bad. Like if we had Kenny Pickett this year, I'm like I would rather have Mike White than like rookie Kenny Pickett, that kind of thing.
yeah,
Because
no, like even if he's
because
a
Gardner
backup,
was way more usable in his like 2 game stint versus some of these like other guys that weren't as usable. Right? And I think that's a fine case actually in that sense. I would do it where that the O line's top notch, the wide receivers are top notch, and in the event you happen to lose, Jalen Hurts, like Garland or somebody lost Jalen Hurts, you get Gardner, like you can be really helped. But it has to be really, really ugly quarterbacks. Like it has to be that the top 20 and then 21 and below is really terrible.
I just don't think there's a scenario I'm taking him outside of Superflex. Yeah, and then like Skylar Thompson's still there. I mean, I haven't been reading Dolphins backup QB camp reports, but I don't know. I just can't see it personally.
Mm-hmm. No, I think Spike, we had a good point about it though. Like there are some like last year, some people just really weren't in on Tannehill and etc. And because they coming in, their season was just kind of like gross looking. That you might have been smarter to take Gardner over like Tannehill.
I mean, what was Gardner's actual points last year? I mean, I'd have to look that up. I just cannot see in any scenario in an 18-round draft drafting a backup QB. I don't know.
I know his 2 games that he did play. One was like 20 something ish, and then the other I think was bad. But one of those was a playoff game.
So are you saying you do like a 3 QB build with Tua, someone else, and Mike White?
Maybe. I don't know. I haven't
That's what,
figured
like,
it out.
I just can't like.
Done it.
I mean, I don't know. I just find it.
Truly believed in that offense, like how strong that offense is going to be. I don't think I do this with like Mahomes and his backup, and he's throwing to MVS. But I think if you can say Jalen Hurts as the number 1 O line, followed by 2 of the greatest receivers you could possibly have, and an elite tight end, and you think the quarterback behind him isn't some rando, but it's Gardner who had some starter experience that wasn't the worst.
No,
I think that's like argumentable.
I mean, I remember. I get it with like Mike White. I remember like 1 week in DFS, I played him like when he started for the Jets, and yeah, I mean, he did have a couple games. I mean, I remember that. I guess like I just don't think I can get there. I just rather would have like a starter. I don't know. It's just tough for me to get there. But I mean, I get the guy. Hey, I'm always a fan of Galaxy Brain ideas, and so I like it.
It's a very weird sell. Like I'm not trying to sell it hard or anything by any means, but I think when the logic came together, when you're just in a bad QB season, and I think last year was just pretty bad. That you could see that like it was pretty blatant that Ryan Tannehill was just probably not gonna have a good year, right? Traylon Burks was out basically, and then they didn't have a second receiver. Like it was kind of like Traylon Burks, asthma, and we have nobody else in Derrick Henry. It's like, okay, do I think Tannehill is good enough to make like Westbrook and be above replacement value? And the answer is probably not, right? Like the answer is probably not. And but Gardner at a backup actually could. Obviously, you're banking on an injury, but in your scenario where you're creating that is a possibility. Like, would you rather have Jalen Hurts, Gardner Minshew plus another guy, or Jalen Hurts, Tannehill?
Yeah.
Right, and I had a Jalen Hurts Tannehill team, and it sucked. Tannehill did 11 points on the bye week. All his contribution was 11.
I don't know. It's tough for me. Like, and James is saying like it's your 18th round pick, and it's not gonna hurt you that bad. And I guess that's okay.
I disagree with that though.
Yeah, I did too. Because like dead roster spots, and we've just learned from the research Leone did, like how important just having guys who can play. And there's just so many tight ends in the 18th round we're
there's a
gonna
lot of wide
give
receiver
you
twos in the 18th
usable
round right
weeks.
now.
Darius Slayton. It's tough for me to get there, but I appreciate the thought on it. Terrence says he takes. So you're taking an elite and Mike White as like your 2 QBs. Is that what you're saying?
I don't know about that.
I don't know.
What's up, James? What question did you have? You said, please explain, Davis. Here to
You said
learn.
you didn't agree with like it. What doesn't hurt your roster that bad if your
Oh.
18th round pick is
So-
Mike White and he never plays.
So
I
there are. I
talked
think
about the
there's
dead
right. So right off the bat, we're talking about tight ends. I think that's a good example of one where people can fit in tight end threes. I think we did this a lot last year. Even like CJ Uzomah was one of my favorite tight end threes. I was just taking as a joke half the time, and he paid off like very usable games. Noah Fant, etc. Like all these dead guys. And then this year we have guys like Corey Davis, Mac Hollins, McCole Hardman, Jalen Hyatt. We have Joshua. Like we have like a couple real receivers, Justin Ross, basically every Giants player. You have a lot of these dudes down there that are all quote unquote better in best ball players. This isn't like slot receiver town where it's like 18 Jarvis Landrys in the 18th round, but it's like these deep shot guys, fast young players drafted with decent capital or have had in the past been usable, and they're all in round 18. Right. And
then the tight ends. I mean, Hunter Henry's the Patriots starting tight end. He doesn't get drafted in every draft.
And then I wasn't even saying, even top of it, it's not like quarterbacks are overly expensive. So quarterbacks in this year, up in early rounds are expensive. Mid rounds are kind of bad and cheap. So you're not forcing yourself into Mike White's. Like you don't have to because it's that bad. Superflex is a different situation where quarterbacks are so expensive, you get stuck with Mike White. But in BBM, we get stuck with so many like these lesser receivers, that these smaller guys that have upside, that are wide receiver 2s and 3s on, pretty solid teams or situations. Like I would rather have that over Mike White in an elite quarterback team. I'd rather just be solo elite quarterback at that point. Then
maybe, yeah, I don't know.
I think
For me, it's more so the dead roster spot. Like,
yeah.
I just think it's so hard to advance. I want all 18 of my picks to be like players I think are going to play like starting snaps.
And that's what I'm saying. That's why I don't agree with the Mike White. Like with my,
I don't know. I like the Galaxy Brain part. Like, I mean, it would be nuts if you got to week 17. It's just also like when you get to week 17, is Mike White really going to be the one that separates, and is the reason you won versus CJ Stroud versus the Titans, I don't know. He could be, I guess. I just don't see it. Like, I just don't see like he.
When you break it down from the elite side, I agree. I was thinking more of a 3 quarterback if I did Mike White. It'd be like a weird 3 QB, and I just really don't like Ritter. I really don't like, the rookies, and then that's it. Like let's say I didn't like Howe. I didn't like the rookies.
And you had both Tyreek and Waddle. Like,
yeah,
that would be the only way I could get there. I don't know. Yeah, Gesicki might. I just can't see Bill playing a guy who doesn't block that much, like a majority of snaps. And Hunter Henry's apparently been Mac's reliable go-to target in the red zone in camp early. I think both are going to play a lot.
I also just feel like Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle are just that good. They were like, oh, I caught like a 4-yard reception. I'm running like go for the other 96. Plus, coaching and stuff is really good there too.
James, like, I mean, it could happen. I mean, you're right. Like, he could throw 3 TDs and 300. I mean, we could do this for almost any player. I mean, I get it. If you have Hill and Waddle, sure, like, go for it. I don't think I'm going to get there.
It has to be a Hill Waddle team. It just cannot be a straight up like, I just took Mike White because it's fun.
No, I don't think they're saying that either.
Oh, no.
I mean, if you have it, I can't see it against Baltimore. I don't know.
What am I doing with this?
Obviously, I mean, the Dolphins scored 1 million points against Baltimore last year. I don't want to speak like they're the 85 Bears, but I don't know. It's tough for me to get there, but I appreciate that. The gal brain.
We're getting weird. But yeah, it's one of the episodes Spike Week did like last year towards the end in the playoffs, and I remember saying, I was like, damn, you're kind of right though. Like there were some quarterbacks I just straight up didn't like coming into the season. Ryan Tannehill being one of them, and I felt I was taking these like really really ugly QB3s like Baker Mayfield. I couldn't draft Baker Mayfield. If someone had pitched me a better version of Gardner Minshew, I might have done that. I think I had literally like 1 Baker Mayfield and like 2 in total in Superflex. So I think there are scenarios where it's just that ugly, and you'd rather have Mike White. Now, obviously, it has to be a Dolphins team. This isn't like naked Mike White's running around, but like Dolphins Mike White team, and that kind of stuff. And I think like when you put it together, it makes way more sense than like, well, I needed a quarterback, so I just like took naked Baker. Like,
No, I get it. Yeah, it's just something I won't be able to get there on, but I appreciate it. That makes sense. Like, and I get it. Yeah, I mean, it's a ginormous field tournament, but I mean, you're not going to get 677.
Yeah,
opponents.
you're definitely not.
You're going to get you got to get out of 2 of 12, and at worst case scenario, you're going against 441.
Yeah, you're playing less than 500 people in total.
Yeah, I mean, which is a tiny DFS slate. So like, I get the logic of that, but you're not. That's not really what you're competing against. I don't know.
Are you taking Mostert here for your for your Dobbins?
my Tyreek. I don't love anyone here. I'm probably just gonna take Jeff. I've been taking mostly Jeff Wilson over Mostert.
You are such a.
I like how you try to slide that in and push me to Mostert though. That was smart of you.
I was gonna take Mostert out of the way, but
you were.
Yeah, he was either or. I didn't really care, or Gus. I just needed a 4th running back, and it really didn't matter. I actually thought you were gonna grab Mostert just because ADP. I actually think Raheem runs out the year and somewhere along the lines. I've been taking them together though. I take Raheem and I take Wilson together a lot. Until Dalvin Cook arrives on the scene, and then I cry actual tears.
What do you think? What would Tyreek and Waddle's value be if you say you knew Mike White was going to start 8 games?
I think Tyreek. I don't think Tyreek changes at all. I think Waddle loses all his efficiency though. Waddle was like such an efficiency play. I was actually doing an article before we went on stream, and I'm just like really looking at his numbers, and I really hate it. Like, I hate his numbers. It sucks.
For what reason?
It just requires too much to him to be good, right?
About efficiency, like with touchdowns.
His efficiency has to be through the roof.
He
gets low targets. He gets low A dot targets too to top it off. It's weird. Like, unlike Tyreek,
he got more last year though. Deep shots.
He had but not enough. Like, he's always second fiddle, and we're drafting him in the first 15 picks.
Yeah, I wish he was like a little bit later for sure.
He has to be like this is not me saying he sucks. I'm just saying
no, that, like, of course, Jalen Waddle's awesome.
Yeah, he's amazing. But I think like if then you take away Tua, who is built for that kind of play, and you give me Mike White, I think you get like rookie tier Waddle where he has to do possessional moves, and then Tyreek is overly used as a deep shot guy. Like, half his snaps were him running before the play starts, like running from the back and then running deep shot. But Waddle never got those runs. Waddle got a lot over in the middles. So I just feel like we knew that for Mike White, like, hey, Mike White is the final 4 games. I only care about Tyreek and I care about nobody else at that point. There's no reason to be taking Waddle.
All right.
Waddle's numbers are like really good.
Worry about the efficiency.
Yeah. And he had no red zone. He had like, when I did the numbers, he had 4 total red zone targets that weren't the Baltimore game. 4.
That's fair. That's fair. Yeah. I mean, I don't think I have that much of him. Let me see.
Yeah, but everyone's juicing up. It's hard, and I pointed out 10%? Like,
I think that's high. I don't think I have updated this. I'll have to look.
You're talking about a lot of these efficiency number guys. I love efficiency number guys, man. Like, if Golden Tate, man, I love Golden Tate. One of the most efficient wide receivers out of the slot, and as a wide receiver too, amazing. But no one's ever said like, why I think Golden Tate's a top 12 fantasy receiver this year. No one's running out there doing that. It's just funny.
No, makes sense.
Reducing
the risk of Tua, just take less Waddle because Tyreek will be fine. I would agree he'll be more fine than Waddle will be. Yeah. I mean, they're still both like. I mean, Mike White is not horrible as a backup quarterback. So
no, he's above Matt Moore, which used to be our backup, and Matt Moore made Tyreek Hill like no. Matt Moore and Tyreek Hill
started a playoff game.
And Matt, the one where he gets
destroyed
by
the Pittsburgh, Steeler guy.
We've went to the playoffs. The last 2 playoffs that we've ever had in the last 12 years have always been with the backup quarterback. Like the Dolphins have found a way to get there, you know. And Matt Moore and Kenny Stills is amazing. Love it. I love Kenny Stills for that, you know. But like that sucks, you know. I would just grab Tyreek. I'm not grabbing Waddle in a lot of situations right now.
Hate to see their Stroud go.
The targets are weird. The way they like, I think like obviously McDaniel's genius. He's gonna figure it out. But last year he didn't figure it out. And remember that there was a video we watched that video that we were talking about. Where they're like, look how predictable like the Dolphins' offensive plays are. You know, it was just like, of course.
Yeah, what didn't their efficiency or like drop like the last 8 weeks of the year, like to like
so
31st in the league or something? Not like
absolutely terrible.
What was it, like EPA per player? It was something, some passing efficiency stat. I don't remember.
After the 49er game, the 49ers had a game plan. People saw what happened.
Oh, that was it. That was brutal day.
Yeah, we lost to
if you're a Dolphins fan.
We lost to the first game of Mr. Irrelevant. That's a good bragging, right?
The pretty game.
So I would just go with that, and it was pretty bad. And then after that game, it all went downhill. They saw that Tua was no longer throwing the quick plays anymore, and he was just holding the ball. A lot of like this misdirection plays that were too obvious. We lost to the Chargers. It was just bad. I'm glad that the Jets were one of our opponents because that was that was the only way we were gonna win.
I think I am just gonna have to punt QB2 here with Tanny. Either Tanny or Ritter. I'll just take one of the two. I was trying to set up CJ Stroud in the last round, but he did not come back all the way back around to me.
Yeah, I don't think my stacks came together too well in this one. Kind of on autopilot to an extent, but I'll get it at the end.
Tanny goes as well. It's going to be Desmond Ritter time as my QB2.
I was kind of hoping
I do. You know what?
If somebody here didn't take my DJ Moore, I might have been fine.
Have people taken Hunter Henry already? No, not yet. What's his ADP? It's 208. I'll just take Mac and hope Hunter Henry comes back around. Probably should have done that the other way.
I'm taking Hunter Henry now since you said it.
4 tight end build. No, if someone wants Hunter Henry that bad, they can have him for sure.
Where's Hyatt, man? Where's Hyatt? Did he already go?
Yeah, he went the 15th in this one.
Damn people with their Twitters and their fancy videos.
Hyatt feels like a good one for me to finally like. I'm gonna lose the closing line value, but I was in on Hyatt, early, and so I'm gonna lose the closing line value of that. But I feel good about the take, at least right now. Obviously, it's camp, like everything's positive, but
I feel good about it when there's their wide receiver fours like Cole Beasley.
I just feel good. Like, I was making the case for him when he was like 140, and I was still making the case for him then. And now he's at, 180 a lot, 190. Still taking him.
I literally said the same thing to him. I was like, hey, I think Hyatt's fine. I just think 140 is too expensive. You have him at 170, 80, I'll take him. I've been grabbing at 170, 180, like 192. I don't even think Slayton's good. But if I had to pick between like 140 Hyatt and like 18th round Slayton, like I'm just gonna take like 18th round Slayton, 18th round like Hodgins, and just kind of hope that works out for me over like 140 Hyatt. It felt like really expensive, like because you're at that point you're basically saying like you think Hyatt's better than like DPJ by a long shot. I don't even think that's the case. I think DPJ is like more closer to Zay Jones, but 30 picks apart. Like I don't know. It's just felt off to me. Obviously, consensus eventually caught up, and now they oversold. I think the overselling is weird. I think he should be like 170. I don't think that we should be saying Jalen Reed's like, for sure going to be more useful than Jalen Hyatt. I think that's a little excessive.
No, definitely not. We got the run on tight ends.
I'm probably just a couple 4 quarterback teams here.
I'm just going to take a random tight end. We got some 4 QB teams.
4-4-7-1.
Let's see what.
You're right, Nick. Hunter Henry's always been good. He was amazing as a Charger, right? It's just health is always the thing that kind of killed the guy.
Yeah.
Amazing player. Took him last year. He was also going dirt cheap last year for the most part, and he was a little bit more juiced up last year, but like still taking him.
He had a pretty good first year with Mac.
Yeah, he had a good first year. And
last year was just a disaster. Yeah.
Jonnu Smith, everyone was all on Jonnu Smith. Yeah, that guy is not that good. I won't say he sucks because he obviously does other things. I don't think he's that good. I'm trying to avoid saying like someone sucks. I don't want these because these NFL guys do put in a lot of work. They're just not as good.
Yeah, I do feel better about Mac over Ritter.
I feel better about Ritter, but that's just me.
I don't, man. I don't know how much the team's gonna pass.
Is this a bet? Are we gonna do this Ritter versus Mac Jones bets?
Are we gonna do a Ritter Mac Jones bet?
Ritter Mac
Jones? I'll do Ritter Mac Jones.
Play the clip. Go. Play the clip, girl.
What did he just say? I don't agree with that.
I can tell Hope doesn't agree with me right now. I'm still right, though.
What? No way.
Whoa. Hear me out now. Hear me out.
I forgot we had this.
Look, we're going to do this. It's Ritter versus Mac Jones. I don't want to do flat points. I want to do spike weeks. Like, who has more replacement points above replacement?
No, let's do total points.
Just total points? I'm going to lose that one.
No, fine. What are we doing? Usable weeks?
Over usable week. How many games above 18.5 points?
Okay.
All right. Who has more?
It's going to be a fun, 3 versus 2 winner bet right here.
Okay, there we go.
I'm taking Mac in that one. And Davis is on Ritter.
I can't do that. This is really impromptu, but it is what it is.
Hey, we gotta use that clip some more. I forgot we had that thing.
I love that clip. It's my favorite. I was laughing. I was watching the ship chasing. They were playing like their little clips and stuff, and I was like, I think our little bet boy is probably one of the better like creative idea ones. I like that one so much. I want Ritter. I think Ritter's gonna do it. I think he's gonna go above that replacement level more times than Mac Jones. I'm sure of it.
18.5 is the line.
I think 18.5 is the line usually.
I thought in half. And with no bonus, it's like 15, but we could do 18.5. That's fine.
I think it's 18.5 for quarterbacks, and then like everybody else is like 11.
I mean, we could just decide our own line.
I'm telling you right now, it's gonna be where it's at. Oh wait, did my guy get taken? Oh, Matt Collins, why would you do that to me? I was gonna go for Matt Collins. GA, you're such a monster, man. Is this payback for taking your digs? It's gotta be payback for taking digs. All right, screw it. We're Michael Wilson it.
Michael Wilson.
Oh, I could have grabbed Corey Davis.
We get him. Hunter Henry falls back. Patriots tied to 1.
I should have taken Corey Davis. That would have been the play.
He's gonna catch like 6 touchdowns this year. Oh yeah, you never stacked Allen either. GA's pointing it out.
I don't need it. He's a running quarterback. I don't need to stack him.
I just feel like you could. Like instead of taking Michael Wilson, just take like
I would have taken Corey Davis with my I should have taken Corey Davis. Because then Aaron Rodgers.
The random Bills receivers, but I think they're all gone. Oh yeah, Shakir went.
I like my elites to be unstacked. I just think they're just guys that put up 30 points every week. I'm okay with that.
I think Allen, like you're not dead, of course. I just would rather have a stack for him. Or I mean, Knox you would have taken. We will have 4 touchdowns for the Falcons, Pitts or Jonnu. It's randomly going to be Jonnu for sure.
It's going to be Jonnu, and it's going to be the funniest thing in the world. It's going to be like
it would actually be
for
funny.
Pitts.
All right, I'm going to run through my team quickly here, and then we'll do yours. 2, 6, 7, 3. My favorite build of this draft season. Fields Mac, pretty good. I mean, I don't mind this QB spin. I usually like to back up Fields with someone a little bit more consistent, but everything I was trying to set up kind of went away. So I'll just, I'm fine with this. You can get by with those 2 for sure. Running back room, got a couple mid-tier guys with Dameon Pierce, J.K. Dobbins. Again, I'm not loving the stuff coming out on Dobbins, but I got him a full round after ADP, so that's fine. Charbonnet was back at practice, got him 10 picks past ADP.
So I feel for 1 second. I would say even you have a Dobbins 17 picks past his original ADP of 55, 58.
Yeah, so that is true.
Really good. And that was recent. That was like a day ago. So anyway.
Then Elijah, again, he got banged up. I still believe if he can stay healthy, he's gonna be good this year. I won't quit Elijah Mitchell. I'm take locked
Jordan
on
Mason
him.
season, baby.
I'm take locked on Elijah Mitchell. Jeff Wilson, Chuba, again, a couple of my mainstay 0 RB targets or just late RB targets. Love my receivers. Tyreek, T, Calvin Ridley, DJ Moore. Just 4 off the top. Feel really good about those guys. And then Bateman, got a lot of Miami, Baltimore on this team. Rashi Rice, John Mechie. Like this. Got a little Cincy KC going on.
I'm staring a hole through your DJ Moore. I'm so livid I couldn't get DJ Moore to come back to me.
And then tight end, took Njoku. Was kind of just a range of the draft. I didn't love any of the running backs or receivers, so just grabbed him. Been mixing it up with him and Freiermuth. Prefer Freiermuth, but took Njoku this time. And then Komet Henry. Komet obviously with Fields, Henry with Mac. So feels like a really solid team. I like this one.
You know, if you would have just taken a tight end earlier, you could have just grabbed Hollins on the way back. And then you could have had your week 17. But no, you had to steal my Komet.
No, you would have taken him before.
I know.
Hollins.
I would have taken all these guys. Who've been good times.
All right. I'll scroll your team for you.
All right. I have unstacked Josh Allen. Delicious.
You cannot win now, Davis. Sorry.
Oh, good. Aaron Rodgers versus, really enough, I have a Brown stack in this one. So it's Aaron Rodgers, Alan Lazard, Elijah Moore. I should have grabbed Corey D, but I didn't. CMC, this is a hero RB team. CMC to Connor, AJ Dillon, Raheem, and Gus. Pretty much small buckets. Didn't correlate a lot of these running backs besides Raheem and Gus, which kind of I was hoping to get some followers. I probably could have skipped AJ Dillon and get B-Rob for that CMC game. Probably could have done that. Scrolling downs, Chris Olave, Mike Evans for their game. Big Kid London. Sorry, buddy, couldn't get you a guy to hang out with. And then Van Jeff, Terrence Marshall, and Mike Wilson. At least like those guys are stacked, but not correlated. Kind of annoying. At least Mike Wilson. Hawkinson. Oh, Hawkinson, my Dylan. There we go. I feel better now. Higbee and then Hill. So if I have to grab a third tight end, I want to grab someone like Hill, who I think is better.
Yeah, he can score touchdowns.
He's just going to score the games. Pretty simple.
Yeah, I like it. I'm a little worried about your wide receivers.
I told you. I'm sorry. I tried, but somebody here took DJ Moore from me.
Wow. All right. I like it. I think those are a couple good teams.
We'll look at GAs really quick. He's one of our buddies always hang out in here. We'll check him out. Before we get to this, though, obviously, guys, like and subscribe. Hang out with us. We spent 20-30 minutes talking about Mike White. I think
we did
analysis. So if that doesn't get a like and subscribe, I don't know what will.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting to have the Mike White discussion on the pod tonight. Or the pod was in the podcast on our show tonight, but I appreciated it. I'm always here for the Galaxy Brain, and I love the back and forth. And yeah, you guys open me up to something I haven't considered. I don't know if I'm gonna start mixing in or not.
Could be a good weekly winners idea.
Yeah, weekly winners potentially. Yeah, so I don't mind it. But yeah, that was a fun discussion. But yeah, appreciate you guys hanging out. Like, subscribe. We definitely do not try and push that very much. James apologize. Don't apologize. I thought it was fun. I liked it. Like, I love people opening the third eye like that. And
also, it's just more fun to have these.
I like it. I love different ideas brought to the table. Like, I'm not hating it. I may disagree, and not I'm not planning to take Mike White, but I like it, and that would be awesome if it was won somebody in week 17.
Please don't.
Imagine next offseason though, and then like people trying to Galaxy Brain the next Michael White. That would be insane.
Like, so you're saying like you would like that, but I would not. I'm assuming I'm going to be in week 17. If I lost to Mike White, I would literally. I'm just saying it would be
funny. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't like it. No, let me rephrase that. I wouldn't like it because I don't plan to take any Mike White, but it would be funny. Yeah,
I would shed absolute tears if I lost out Mike White for like $3 million. I would shed absolute tears. I'd probably turn my Twitter off. I'd be done.
No, I love the Gal Brain stuff. All right, GA's team. Daniel Jones, Jordan Love, QB room. Like that a lot. Love me some Daniel Jones.
It's got Stephon Diggs.
Yeah.
No Allen though. What? I'm kidding. Brees Hall, Kenneth Walker, Pacheco, Jalen Warren, Tank Bigsby. I'm
solid RB room.
I kind of like this room for a lot of reasons. It's literally three guys at the top end that I think are kind of going through the ringer right now with like news and noise and stuff. So the fact that someone, GA who's been in a lot of drafts is like, I'm taking these guys. It's kind of cool. He's not scared of any of the news. And there's a good shot that none of those guys hit. I mean, but none of those guys will miss.
I don't think any of them are missing time.
Yeah, I think all those guys are likely to hit.
Definitely not Pacheco. We got Stephon Diggs, Devontae Adams, Mike Will, Marquise. Got Dobbs going with, and then with Jordan Love, obviously. Hodgins, Curtis Samuel, and your boy Mac Hollins on this team.
What a dick. He did that to spite me.
And then tight end room, Darren Waller, Luke Musgrave, Jake Ferguson. Really solid, stacked up to the late tight ends with his QBs. Really good team from GA.
No, it's a good team.
I'm
A
a
lot
fan.
of deep shot guys,
Yeah.
runner quarterbacks, guy in a year 2.
I mean, getting Diggs Devontae Adams just feels so strong. I've gotten it a couple
Always.
times. It just like, if Jimmy can just do what Carr did, and I think he can. I mean, I think Carr's a slightly better quarterback, but not by that much. Like, I think Jimmy can help replicate that Devontae Adams season again.
Other than that, I was gonna say, Marvin Moms came into the chat.
Yeah.
Me and him, our slow draft that we're currently in is in round 16. We're actually gonna finish the one that we started at the end of the stream.
Oh yeah, I remember that though.
So we're at round 16. It's team shaping up pretty good actually. Other than that, I got nothing else for you guys. Hope, any last words?
No, that's it. We'll be back next week. I don't know what we're gonna be drafting. It'll depend. I'm excited. We're gonna get, gotta go. I gotta go grind the film of the Hall of Fame game, obviously, to find out who is this year's Josh Jacobs, of course. We got Israel Banniken scored a touchdown tonight.
All I saw was that like Zach Wilson fumbled, and then his player prop was set 67 yards, and he had 65, and then they took him out of the game. So he actually went under the 6.
That's
That
funny.
was really bad.
But no, yeah, we'll go grind the Hall of Fame game tape, of course. But no, it's excited. We got real football on the TV tonight. Excited to get into preseason next week. And then really the following week when the teams actually play, start to formulate some opinions, see who's playing. It's fun. Football's back. I think we can say that. But yeah, hang out with us next week. We'll be back.
Guys, remember, guys, stacking is mandatory. Pants are optional, though, for the stream. So pants are optional.